Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your tarot card reading for April 2024. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane. Welcome to April 2024, which is a very big month astrologically. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at both the tarot predictions and mix it with a lot of astrology here for you. So as you're choosing which sign to watch, you may want to start off with your sun sign or your rising sign. And if you would like to have that third perspective, your moon sign is also quite beneficial as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into the reading, and I'll see you guys in just a sec. Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your April 2024 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with an animal spirit card. What is it that Scorpio needs to know for April? This whole concept of, so this card says, make your dreams real. But this month, many of these spirit animal cards that are coming out are, all about the dreams and trusting in the magic and believing in the mystery, believing in the impossible and all of that. And I love that energy, but this one feels actually very scorpionic to me because the word make is so engaged, right? When you purposefully set out to make your dreams real, there is some element of control where you say, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go after. And I think this is also, it's Aries season right now. Aries is ruled by Mars. You are also ruled by Mars. And I think there's just that more Martian conquest quality in the sky that no matter what it's going to take, you're willing to do it. And well, maybe not anything, but there's a lot of things that you're willing to do because that's how much this means to you. And I think right now there is there's just generally a really big shift happening because of this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It is also eclipse season, right? We're in the midst of that right now. The next eclipse is the big new moon eclipse in Aries, which is the biggest one of the year. That's coming up on April 8th. But all these things are really shaking everything up. And that desire to transform and kind of go through an on-purpose metamorphosis, right, where you consciously dive into something, it's really strong right now. But it does require discomfort, which I've been saying for the past couple of months. But there is an element here, make your dreams real, of you purposefully going and doing things to make it real. It's not sit around and wait kind of time, okay? All right, so what comes through with the moon card for Scorpio? A win-win outcome is forecast. Love when this card comes out. It's basically just saying, hey, Scorpio, don't worry. It's all going to work out. Don't worry. Even if you're afraid of failing, or even if you're afraid of things not working out, or you're afraid of so-and-so doing X, Y, or Z, regardless, ultimately, this is going to be in your best interest. It's all going to work out okay. And you focusing on your dreams is the absolute best avenue for your energy, hands down. And dreams is really generic. Dreams can be really big ones, but they can also be smaller goals that ultimately stack on top of one another to make up the bigger dream. But I don't see anyone missing out or losing because you decided to chase something, okay? I'm also kind of seeing, this is a Libra card, right? Full moon in Libra. So I am seeing an element of partnership, working with the right people. There's an element of collaboration, communicating with people. There's, right, finding balance between one entity and another, you and another person, or you and a company, or you and a circumstance. So there is this cohesion that is happening. Working with people. Now, if you have people in your life that are being problematic, if you have people that are maybe there's a little too much drama, or there's a little too much pushback or contrariness, there's a little too much of that, you may need to figure out how to adjust your circle. How do you start associating with people that are more productive, that are more supportive, and they're going to be better for you in the long run? Oh, you know what? I haven't been using this deck. Sorry, hold on. I just picked that one up out of habit. I want to keep your reading consistent with everyone else's. And this is the deck I've been shuffling. So this is the deck that's ready. So let's see what comes through here. Seven of Wands. All right. The Seven of Wands is the epitome of the word make in the Make Your Dreams Real, because this is the action. This is the effort. It is the passion. Now, I'm not saying you have to be 100% motivated every single day, because that's really hard to do. And I'm not even saying that you have this die hard, okay, this is going to be my whole life. I'm not suggesting that you're going through these massive overhauls. I mean, some of you might be, but I think these are smaller things that ultimately will lead up to the bigger things. But sometimes it's the small things, the things that we say, oh, well, I can do that anytime. I can do that tomorrow. I can quit this, or I can start that, or I can, there's plenty of time. We kind of have all of those narratives that run through our mind. But the Seven of Wands says you got to get up, and you've got to push, and you've got to put your back into it a little bit. Okay, you got to get that elbow grease going. You have to fight for it a little bit, because that's how you communicate with the universe. That's how you communicate with spirit. You say, Spirit, I'm showing up for this. This is where I'm putting my investment. This is how I'm spending my life. And this is the channel through which I wish to receive opportunities. I'm also seeing that there's going to be kind of just an overall sense of happiness. That there's, right, win-win outcome is forecast with actually both of these cards. I just feel a general happiness, a general peace, that you're going to feel good about something. You're going to feel good about the way things are going. And it's probably because you have decided to take some control. You've decided to take that power back and channel it properly. I'm not saying you never had power. It's just we go through these phases where sometimes we really hold onto those reins real tight, and then other times we're maybe a little bit more lax. If you have been a little bit more lax or a bit meandering, that's fine, because it was Pisces season back, in March. So February and March, if you needed to take that time, of course, fine. But I think you really are going to feel the intensity of Aries, because it is the fellow Mars-ruled sign. And there's also sixth house activation, which is very connected with our daily life. Right? It's how we live, it's our habits, it's our normal behaviors, it's how we, really show up for things in a more mundane kind of way. So by you grabbing the reins and saying, okay, I'm going to make this happen, you're going to feel better about stuff. And I do kind of sense that there's this demanding quality. Now, I think I saw this for Virgo and Libra as well. I've only have 3 cards out so far, but with the Seven of Wands, I'm like, I think you're going to be very demanding of yourself. Now, I'm not saying, I'm repeating myself from the other 2 readings, so sorry if you've watched more than one of these readings, but it's not being critical or hard on yourself in terms of self-judgment, but being demanding of yourself says, okay, I am going to show up, and I am going to keep the promises that I made to myself, because it's not only for my benefit, but it's for the benefit of the people I love and my family, and, for my employees, if you're a business owner or something like that. So it really is in the best interest of everyone involved. We are looking for a win-win outcome. It's not just for you, but when you win, everyone else wins too. So this is a great service to humanity, if you will. When you succeed and when you go and grab the bull by the horns, other people start to improve and see that kind of blossom into more opportunities as well. And I love the Six of Cups because there is a little bit of whimsy that comes through. So as much as, I'm talking about kind of grabbing the bull by the horns here, it doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy it. And it doesn't mean you're not going to kind of embrace the playfulness that's going to happen here too. I think this is something that's fun for Scorpio. Yeah, it requires a little elbow grease. Yeah, it requires you to kind of push and give some effort. But I think this is where you thrive in this development process. So Scorpio is such a unique archetype, and you've probably heard me say this to you guys before, but Scorpio is a fixed sign, right? So it does have a stubbornness to it because that's the essence of the archetype, but it's also an archetype of transformation and change. And those two are somewhat in conflict, okay? Where fixed wants to maintain, but you rule change. So when you do hit and you come into these chapters of change, it can sometimes feel like a bulldozer, just because it's all at once, because you know that after that, maybe there's going to be another phase of stasis. So I do feel a little bit of a bulldozer energy just to get that momentum going, because you kind of have to hurl yourself into it. You have to just dive in and make a little bit of a mess so that you guarantee that change will occur. It's very dramatic. Scorpio can be very dramatic in that way. But I think that's also what makes life fun for Scorpio sometimes, especially when it's done on purpose with specific goals in mind, and especially when there's a win-win outcome that's forecast. All right. I'm looking at these two and I'm like, I don't know. They both kind of feel like you, Scorpio. It's like the two sides or the two faces of Scorpio. The good news is they're both facing in the same direction. They're both moving together. Therefore, they're supportive. And what's backing the Queen of Coins here, like behind her back, we have this beautiful card of stability and kind of established roots, which tells me that what it is you're working with right now, Scorpio, is very strong. I'm like, the word concrete just came into my mind. Like, you are well grounded. You have everything you need. And I'm also looking at this and I'm saying you're also well organized. But one thing I always say with my Queen of Coins to pay attention to is your environment. Please pay attention to the people, the places, the words you say, the things you consume. Pay attention to those things, because if there are poisonous things or invasive things in your environment, it can hinder your progress. It feels like you are wanting speed, that you want things to move quickly. And this is what I mean. Like when Scorpio is ready, it will bulldoze its way through a project or through whatever. And this is one of the things that does make Scorpio powerful and oftentimes kind of the reason for your success, because when you have this mountain to climb, you're one of the first to be like, all right, let's climb it. And you just go for it. That's the power of Mars, right? A lot of initiating energy. But when the time is right, and when the project is right, and when things are right, and when the risk is worth it, clearly there are risks that are worth it. And I look at this Knight of Swords, and this is you diving in. And I love that it's connected with the Seven of Wands, because it just adds to the passion and dedication and the focus that you're going to be able to give and offer. And your dreams require that right now, because I'm not suggesting that your dreams are brand new, by the way. I mean, they might be, but they may also be long-standing dreams that you've had for a really long time that you just haven't prioritized or acted on yet. So this is kind of that moment where you decide You make that decision and you say, I'm not going to just think about this anymore. I don't want to just think about it. See, having Mercury retrograde in Aries is actually a very beautiful placement. He'll be in retrograde from the beginning of April through to the end. So he's going to be actually there all the way in through May as well. But it's going to give you that punchy, initiating, competitive quality, but not necessarily competitive with others, although maybe it could be with that. But really, it's more competing with yourself or even with a past self, a past version of you that you look back on and you say, I don't want to be there anymore. I don't want to be there ever again. Not that it was bad, not that you're demonizing it. It's just not where you want to go. And I look at this Knight of Swords and I see someone who has a clear, dedicated focus. If you're not clear on what you want, if you're not clear on that vision, you can still leverage the power of Pisces because we still have Mars, your ruling planet, in Pisces right now. It doesn't come in Aries until April 30th. So we have a whole month ahead of us where you can still delve into the dream space, your creative space. You can kind of feel the direction that your soul is trying to pull you. Okay, but you're solid. I'm not worried that Scorpio is floundering. The only thing that could cause you to really flail is if you have a toxic environment or if you have poison around you, usually through people, or if you are consuming things that are really not good. And that could be food, but it could also be music or things that you're reading or whatever. Okay, if you're consuming things that aren't healthy for you, and they're not healthy and in line with your goal, it can kind of sour everything. But we're not trying to do that. We don't have to do that. I think, like I say, win-win outcome is forecast. The real goal is to see you win. And every day, as you're engaging in something, if you ask yourself, is this really what I see my winning self doing? And if the answer is no, maybe you find a way to stop or to disconnect or detach, okay, from whatever it is. See, look at this column. I'm loving the energy here. It's so electric. This is the perfect Uranus-Jupiter conjunction column of cards. Like, it's so beautiful. And I do think there is going to be kind of a desirous surge. Like a desire is going to come into your heart and you're going to be like, yes, I want that. I want that direction. I want that kind of lifestyle. I want to have that kind of freedom. And freedom is also a huge theme with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction as well. You focusing on your own individual and personal freedom, whether that's financial or otherwise, because there are a lot of ways for us to find freedom. But I think that's the main driver of everything. Okay. See, a win-win outcome is forecast. Then we also have a 10 of coins. 10 of cups and a 10 of coins. There is no losing here, Scorpio. There's no losing with your projects. There's no losing with your creative endeavors. There's no losing with your relationships unless those relationships are part of the poison, okay? So as you are approaching things, honestly, as much as I would like to tell you to, be smart and be cautious or whatever, and to a degree, yes, obviously that's true, but I also think that the likelihood of success is so high that to be cautious or to be skeptical is actually doing yourself a disservice. Like, let's say you have a business and you're trying to launch a new product, but you have a sense of fear about launching that product because you're like, oh, well, is it going to be well received? How many am I going to sell? You're going through this whole thing. But if you were to just have confidence and say it's going to sell and you just do it, It's probably going to work out great. And yes, there will be learning experiences along the way, just like everything else in life. But Page of Wands, Ace of Wands, these two together, it really is about just initiating and getting things started, getting one step in front of the other. And what I love about the Page of Wands is there's an element of, well, I mean, it's just very enthusiastic. And I kind of see that with the Six of Cups as well. It's enthusiastic about what could be, enthusiastic about the notion that this life is possible, enthusiastic that you're going to succeed, and I'm not just trying to hype you up. I mean, I am, but that's also not really my job. As a tarot reader, I try to just read the cards as they are. And sometimes the messages can be darker. Sometimes they can be lighter. This is a very light reading. All right. This is full of love and brilliance. And I think it's just accentuating what Scorpio has the potential to embrace. Now, not everyone is going to really feel like happy. I don't know that this is about feeling happy. This is about doing things that align with what you want and finding fulfillment through that. Finding fulfillment through rising to the challenge each day. Because when I look at this Knight of Swords, first of all, the Knight of Swords needs stimulation. So if it's not challenging, it's not really going to keep his interest. So doing something challenging, doing something hard is probably going to be the best strategy for you. Will it make you happy every day? No. That's not really what the Ten of Cups is. It's not about a fleeting happiness. It's about understanding that your contribution to humanity makes humanity and society better. Whether it is through a product that people need or a service that people need, or it's about giving or nurturing, right? Or inviting love into your life. But there is a journey involved, right? Spider spirit. There is this process of weaving this tapestry together. And you can go into it with a clear notion of what you want, but along the way, there can also be a lot of changes. And I see flexibility here. Even though he's determined, he can also turn on a dime. So you're not really stuck. You're not like, so maybe that's one of the things to really take note of is maybe you are hesitant or resistant because you're like, oh, well, if I jump into this, am I going to get stuck? If I jump into this new job or if I buy this new house, am I going to get stuck there? No. No, you won't. You won't actually get stuck. You will have the option to turn on a dime if the vision changes, if circumstances changes. So there's no threat to your safety here. There's no threat that it's going to lock you in. Remember, this is about everyone winning. So no one wins if someone gets locked in. Okay? So in case you are worried about that aspect of it. But all in all, I say go for it. This is a perfect time to really shake things up. Now, as we move into May and June especially, and this is going to be the next topic du jour as we leave eclipse season. Because remember, we have the big eclipse on the 8th in April, in Aries, on April 8th in Aries. And that's conjunct Chiron. And usually Chiron energy brings out wounding and pain and insecurity. But I think this eclipse is not just to make us feel those things, but to motivate us to get us out of circumstances that cause us to feel those things. Right? So if we are financially insecure, well, this eclipse is going to be that moment where we say, okay, I don't want to be financially insecure anymore. I want to have some sense of, well, grounding. I want to be a little bit wealthier, live a little bit better so I feel safe. You know what I mean? So once that eclipse is over, the next big focus is Jupiter coming into Gemini. Now, Jupiter changes signs once a year, so it's not a big deal that it's changing signs. What it is a big deal, though, is it is moving into such a movement-oriented sign. And actually, through 25 and 26, as it moves through Gemini and then ultimately Cancer. We have 2 years ahead of us where there are going to be just lots and lots of changes and revisions. And there's a lot of brainstorming and feeling our way through things and trying to connect the dots of everything. So, we don't have, there's going to be freedom. Let's just say that. All right. But that's going to be the big next focus for the next couple of months. And you're going to feel that because that's in your 8th house. When Jupiter comes into Gemini, it's going to be in your 8th house. So transformation, unquestionable. All right, so the cards we're about to pull out, we will cover in the comprehensive reading. So if you want to join, the link will be in the description box in the comment thread down below. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes, so we get almost kind of like a whole second reading about these cards I pull out. So let's start with the 7 of Wands. What is it that Scorpio needs to know here? Death, the moon. Good way to start off. And the Wheel of Fortune. 10 of coins, 9 of coins, 10 of cups. A lot of promise here. 8 of swords. 5 of coins reversed. World reversed. Queen of coins. King of swords. Hierophant. Wands, Justice, 2 of Wands, the Devil. I felt like there was something not super healthy going on. Okay, Page of Cups, 3 of Coins, Ace of Swords, 7 of Cups, Knight of Swords reversed, 10 of Coins, 5 of Swords, 2 of Coins, 6 and 7 of Coins, and 8 of Coins. All right, so this is where we're going to pick up. So again, if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. I love and adore you. Have an amazing April, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.